All right, everybody. So I am going to start flying solo here, which is a first for me. So bear with me. But today I am talking about effective humanization of follow-up. And what I mean by that is we have all this technology, right? We have Chime, we have all these different systems, we have different methods of communicating and following up with our leads. And I think that one thing that we need to keep in mind, like I love automations, that's what I'm known for. But with following up, I think that what we really need to keep in mind is that we're dealing with real people and we are real people ourselves. And we have to figure out a way to effectively keep the human in the transaction, keep that human element. So it's not just a bunch of hashtags and text messages and emails and stuff. There's that personal interaction with each other. I think when you look at even like a restaurant, when you're looking at like a customer service industry as a whole, I think the quality of that has really gone down a lot in the last recent years, at least the last 5-10 years I've been paying attention. And a lot of that is because I think so much communication is done with technology instead of in person, that we're kind of losing touch on how to actually be a human being. So I wanted to kind of give some tips and strategies of how we can use technology and still be as human as possible so that we can connect with our database, or people base as I like to call them, and get those face-to-face meetings where that's where the transactional stuff happens, is face-to-face. So like what does that look like? What are the kind of like, what am I getting at here? So that's kind of what I wanted to cover to share, so that we got what, 3 weeks before the new year. I want to leave everybody today with some actionable items that they can do today to give their system a little overhaul and implement some of these things over the next 3 weeks, so that after the holidays, you can hit it hard and have a successful year using these strategies. So when I got a PowerPoint over here that I'm kind of guiding with here. So, but it's pretty short and sweet. So I have what I call in my brain the humanization hierarchy. So it basically starts at the most impersonal, non-human kind of interaction that you can have with somebody, down to basically face-to-face, which is the most personal you can ever get, is eyeball to eyeball. So the very impersonal working down towards very personal, which is kind of like the same thing like a sales funnel. I mean, this is like a humanization funnel, is like postcards, letters, emails. That's like the most impersonal you can get. That's just stuff, right? There's not really anything. Next in line is a text message. Then you have your voice. Then you have video, and finally in person. So with email and text and direct, direct mail kind of strategies, that's really, you can just mass do all of that stuff. It's not, there's not a lot of human element. They know a human had some activity, some action in that, but you can send out millions of emails a day. People know that. Text messages is fine. You pay $500, they can get some postcards dropped off in the mail. It's not a big deal. That's very, those touch points are very important, don't get me wrong. But as far as the actual humanization and connection involved in that, it's really low on the list. There's not much there. It feels cheap. It feels like a canned message, those kind of things. The reason that I rate text messages a little bit better than, as far as humanization, than email, I check my personal email probably every 6 to 8 weeks. I don't like if I was on like a property alert, even if I was even if I was excited, I'm looking to buy in the next month or two, I would rather a push notification from an app than an email. I would rather a text message than an email. The email to me is just, you need to send me some information and you don't want to have a conversation, email me. I'll look at the documents. If you want to have me sign something, sign a rep agreement, or sign an offer, yeah, email that to me, obviously. But voice is next, and voice can be, you can use that as calling somebody or doing a voicemail drop. But just hearing your voice, how many people have been here as a co-host or a host on the webinars here, and following in the group and posting and all that stuff, and you finally hear their voice and you're like, whoa, they sounded way different than I thought. And then hearing them, you either like them more or dislike them more, or no change, but the voice matters. It's one human element. Like, you can do some robo voice stuff, but actually hearing somebody's voice either in a phone call or in a voicemail drop, it's more personal, it's more human. The next is obviously video like this. You see me, so this is that you get the voice and you get the visual of being in person, but I'm not in person. It's just one kind of degree or one step removed. You can see what I look like. You can see even a picture, but with video, it's active. You can see what I look like. You can hear what I sound like. You can see my mannerisms. You can see my my expressions and my tone and all those kind of things. So that helps to, that's all really, really important for human communication and interpersonal communication. And you can't get that in an email, right? And when I say email, I mean natural, we're talking text-based, just words and typing. There are hybrids of things that I'm going to cover in a little bit here. But the next is obviously in person. When you are in the flesh with somebody, that's when you're the most connected. And I'm a member of a virtual, remote, cloud-based brokerage, whatever you want to call it, and they have like 2 or 3 events each year in person, and those are really, really super important events because you have that human connection with all these agents that you've been talking with over the years, on Facebook, on Workplace, on the phone, doing Zoom calls, and holy crap, I can hug you, kind of a thing. That it means so much to people, and that's what people are missing out on. The hybrids, you can use services like BombBomb or Dub, and you can send a video in text, or even like YouTube or whatever, Vimeo, all the kind of ones, TikToks, social media, all those kind of things. You can send videos through different mediums and get the same effect, but make sure that you are doing it properly. And the next thing, for example, is what I call match the method to the motivation. Now, what I mean by that, I've got a few bullet points here, but the meaning behind that is, if you have a buyer that just signed up and they say, my partner and I just signed a lease, we're going to be looking for a home in a year or so, like, don't try and get them on an appointment to meet in person. Like, I get the social butterfly people that just people, but like, it's just cart before the horse at that point. Like, educate, come from a place of helping, not selling. They might be afraid, like, get some more information so that you can connect better. But just trying to rush to an appointment right out of the gate for every new lead that comes in is just, I don't think that's a good idea at all. I mean, yeah, if they're a hot lead, they're like, hey, we just got done with the lender, you're the first agent that picked up the phone, we want to go see a house today, you better grab your keys and go. That is totally different. But as far as mostly internet leads, that kind of thing, match it to the motivation. If they are super hot, ready to rock and roll, they're like, yep, we want to meet this week, let's set an appointment, don't email them. That's definitely like a phone call situation. If they say, yeah, let's set an appointment, cool, get them on the phone. And then, don't just rush through the appointment, have a conversation a little bit, treat them like a human being, because, we can talk about sides and transactions and volume and all these numbers and GCI and things like that, but we have to remember at all times that we're dealing with humans. So a few bullet points about matching the method to the motivation. Hotter leads are going to be more personal follow-up. The colder leads are going to get less personal, pretty self-explanatory. That's the same thing early on with Brett's original smart plans that he had when he was in an active real estate agent, was people that were basically within 30 days of taking action. That was the manual once a week text or call or email. That's a manual touch. Warm leads were every 2 weeks, manual touch, and then auto emails and stuff didn't start until they're like 90 days out. So same kind of a concept is that if they're down to the bottom of that funnel and they're looking at meeting, you've got to be more personal. That connection that you have with your leads at that point is going to increase their level of trust they have in you and confidence in you, and that's going to help you in the field when you're actually dealing with them and working on that connection and that transaction together. Don't be afraid to pepper some cold leads with humanization, right? Make a Happy New Year video and send it to your entire database. Doesn't matter what pipeline they're in, just a mass email as like a holiday thing to everybody. That's not out of the question. Absolutely do that kind of stuff. Birthday events, home purchase anniversaries, those kind of things. Video is it's a personal thing that you're celebrating. You need to move down that humanization and personalization list to fit the motivation, to match that motivation, match the situation. There's include partners. This is really huge. Include partners in your videos. If you have a team, even if it's like you and somebody else, doesn't matter. If you have a team, include them in certain videos to introduce. If you have referral partners, get them on video together. Like, hey, this is so-and-so. This is who you're going to be working with in this area. They're awesome. This is, so they have that connection so that when I'm talking about, well, I'm basically the lead coordinator kind of a thing, client care specialist, and you're going to be working with one of my agents, so-and-so, they've already pretty much met on video. They've seen, okay, cool. So I know who to look for, and they have that human element again because of the video there. When you're doing educational videos with a lender or title company or home inspector or insurance company for homeowners insurance or what have you, or different contractors for repairs and things like that, get them on video with you. That is so important, and it is going to help you because when people see you interacting with other people in person on video, that's going to, okay, if people are willing to work with you, that lead is going to feel more comfortable working with you as well. I mean, yes, there are a lot of jerks out there, don't get me wrong, but keeping everything positive, when you have other people with you on camera, everybody's personalization and likeness is going to increase. Realism, not professional grade. Yes, I have a virtual background down here. I do not do that when I'm making videos for my database. There's a heck of a lot of clutter behind me that I don't want most people to see. But when I'm dealing with leads and clients and all that stuff, whatever, what you see is what you get. Don't do anything fancy like taking like the little, like what I call it, like the CNN banner. Putting like a title at the bottom of it, like, oh, Adam Frank, real estate professional. It's a bomb video. Don't get fancy. Just get the content out there, be yourself, be authentic, and get it out there for the audience. Save that for like on your website, training stuff, all the fancy branding and things like that. That's where that goes. This is a big one too. And some of it is going to negate what I said before, but this is a guide, not the gospel. Always use their preferred method of contact whenever possible. If you like, in my pipelines, I have a VIP and text only. If people absolutely do not want property alerts, but they want them texted, I will manually text them that you've got to use what people are going to respond to. If they tell me no emails and I sit there and blast them all emails, you think that's going to be a good human connection? No. So then lastly, the take action part. So having said all that stuff, and it's not even a hard concept, which is the beauty of it. It takes more to actually implement it than actually it does to understand it. So I suggest you sign up for either BombBomb or Dub video, Dub with 2 B's. Both have an integration capability into Chime. BombBomb is direct. Dub, you have to use your API key, I believe, from Chime and put it in Dub, and then that'll have a connection there. You're gonna see the little icon pop up. Differences between them. So I do, like, I'm on the monthly plan of BombBomb. I think it's like $49. I just pulled the trigger on a year of Dub. I think it was like $345 or so. And then so they both pretty much do the same thing. I would say the big differences between the two systems that I've noticed, and I've been using Dub for just a couple of weeks here, is BombBomb is really simple. It has a very, very good email deliverability rate. The Dub advantages are you can do embedded text, and yes, it does work in Chime. I did do that test, and it does go through there. And also with Dub, the data analytics are a lot more granular and detailed. So if you really like to obsess about data, you might be a little happier with Dub. If you just want something simple, you just want to be able to send emails with the video embedded from BombBomb, it's not a bad choice. If you want to do both, go for it. But I definitely look into one of those two, partly because I've used them, and they both work well with the Chime world. Sly broadcast, voicemail drop. So if you don't know what a voicemail drop is, it's basically a ringless voicemail. So instead of actually ringing the phone, typically it does like a half ring, or it basically wakes up the screen to turn it on, and then it goes right into the voicemail. So it bypasses the calling feature of the phone. You can do that right from Chime. You can send it right out from the Sly broadcast. That's a direct integration in the system. I've been using that for a while. It's really fun to use. I downloaded the app, the Sly broadcast app, and whenever I have an idea of what voicemail, like, oh, that would be a good thing to say, I just record it, and now it's available in Chime to pick up. Implement this stuff before that. Structure your content. So when you have you have your smart plan, you're like, okay, cool, I want to get some videos in there, and I want to humanize some things. You may have to change the structure of your content to fit the message. Things would be, if you want to say, okay, you know what, this one is really email based, I want to kind of maybe move down the texting, and then if I email, I want that to be a BombBomb video. So you might have to change the structure of your smart plan around a little bit. What I like to do is, like, whatever one is active and on that I'm just modifying, just copy it, make sure it's toggled off, and then play around with that. And then you can turn one off, turn the other one on, and it's going to be the same triggers, just the content's going to change a little bit. And then you have like a split test A and B, so you can look at the old version in the smart plan template stuff, and then look at the versus the new one, and see what's going on there. Obviously implement it into the smart plans. Smart plans is the best way to follow up in the Chime system with your leads. It's super simple to do, and I'll do a screen share in a little bit and kind of show you some on-screen stuff. Lastly is don't overthink this stuff. Follow up, like don't try and think that there's this like sexy script you have to have whenever you're talking to somebody. It's really not that hard when you're creating plans and content in there. What I do is I think about what goal I want to accomplish, right? I want to take a buyer and I want to set an appointment to meet them in person. Okay, well then, how did I get there? So we met in person. What happened? What's probably going to be a phone call? Okay, well, does that need to be a task in the smart plan? Probably. Okay, well then put that in there, and then basically keep building what happens before that to get to the next step. And there's your smart plan, start to finish, just worked backwards. I find it psychologically, it's easier to start. They always say like authors and stuff, the hardest thing about writing a book is the first word. Same thing, like I freeze a lot when I'm trying to think forward in a smart plan when I create it, and thinking at what goal do I want to accomplish, because that's the whole point of this, right? We're not just throwing a bunch of communication out there with like wanton disregard for a result. We want to get the intended result. Well, what is that result? That. Okay, well, how do we get there? Let's look back and see everything that we accomplished to get that done. So some of the areas here, so we're going to go just going to pop this open instead of a thingamajigger template. So in the auto emails here, you can see all these different icons here. This is the BombBomb one. This is the YouTube one. And then Dub, if you have it integrated, will be over here. And these are just simple one clicks. When you click, it'll pop open your little library. You can pick the video, it'll put it in there, put your content in there and move on. Same thing for text. You have a little Dub one here, and you put that up there, and you can select the video and throw it in there, and it'll shoot through. When that delivers out, that will be embedded, by the way, with Dub. So, and then you can obviously change this message and stuff here. Hey, check this out, whatever your message is. Slide broadcast. The one thing that I want to mention, if you don't see it here in your drop down for the smart plan step, you have to be in the, let me pop this open in a new tab. You have to be in the My Plans, or I wish they would call it agent plans, but you have to be in the My Smart Plans library, not the Team Smart Plans. The voicemail drop is only going to work here. The BombBomb is going to work anywhere in there. So I just wanted to point that out. So if you're not seeing it when you have the slide broadcast integrated into the system, you probably have it as a My Team plan, and that needs to be an agent level plan there. And that is pretty much about it as far as the structure of that goes. And you just build these out. I have one in here. Let me get out of here. I have one in here that I have. It's just all voicemail drops for Facebook. Voicemail series right here. So give you an example here. So when they come in, I'm running a Facebook ad myself, and when they as soon as they go, like they get a voicemail, they're using the bot follow up. I'm using my automation stuff, and so they get a voicemail drop right away. A week later, I'm using a conditional question. So if they have a property alert in their system, they're going to get this voicemail message. If they don't have it, then they're going to get this different message. And you can see the labeling here. I'm Facebook, no property alert. It's I don't have to look around that much to figure out what I need to set up. Then I bring it back together. 14 days later, dynamic ads sell strategy. A month later, market fluctuations. And it's super simple. Don't overthink it. And I just have this one set up so that when they respond, this one shuts off. That's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to use the voice to personalize a little bit more, to try and humanize things so that they respond and give me a call or a text or whatever. So adding it, so I'll do this real time here. So this slide broadcast one, just pick it. You can put whatever number. I always use my Chime number. If it didn't happen in the CRM, it didn't happen. And then the voicemail messages, this is the title of the voicemail that I saved in the slide broadcast app. And I just have all these different messages labeled, and you just, okay, so if a buyer hasn't visited the website, that's the one they're going to get. It just pre-recorded, everything in there is fine and dandy. So and then when you're looking at the templates here, I'm sorry, not the templates, the open rates and stuff on your emails, that's where I was saying before, where if you want to take one of your plans and add some videos into it, and then compare over here into your into what your humanization is basically doing, as far as more videos in the smart plan, along with the standard text-based email and obviously text-based text messages. You want to see, okay, well, is this actually more effective? And you're probably going to see an increase in opens, increase in responses, just like I've seen. So taking all of this and making these actions, like time this stuff, spend an hour a week on this stuff. You got 3 hours you can do a lot. You can shoot a lot of videos in 3 hours. You can make a lot of smart plans in 3 hours. Just take 1 hour, 1 week for the next 3 weeks, get this stuff into your system. And I think you're going to have a way different kind of response and connection with your leads in the coming year because of that. So pretty much got a few minutes here. So if there's any questions in the chat, I can address them. Otherwise, maybe not. Nobody? Crickets? All right, sounds good. Well, I guess that's a wrap. Thank you for watching live. Thank you for watching the recording. And hopefully you found some value in this and you implement it. And have a great rest of your day, everybody.